The battlefield was quiet now. No more explosions. No more screaming, only smoke ash. And broken machines covered the dark surface of the moon. Captain Myra of the Ilari Empire opened her eyes slowly. The sky above her was black with sparks, falling like snow from the burning warships. She tried to move, but her legs did not respond. She looked down and froze. They were gone. Both legs had been torn off below the knees. Her skin was burned, and metal had fused with her bones. Her silver blood leaked slowly into the dust. She was alone. Her people were gone. Her army, her soldiers, her friends all gone. She remembered the last attack. The bombs, the heat, the fire. And then darkness. Now there was only silence. She dragged herself with her arms toward a broken wall. Every inch felt like 100 miles. Her breathing was heavy. Pain danced behind her eyes. But she did not scream. Ilari warriors never scream. Far away, a small red light blinked inside a crushed human helmet. A soldier moved slowly through the wreckage. Sergeant Jack Harlow. His suit was cracked. He limped on one leg, holding a plasma rifle close. He heard something. A soft tapping sound, like metal on stone. He raised his weapon and followed it carefully. The battlefield could still hide enemies. Then he saw her. An 8-foot-tall alien warrior, half covered in blood and dust. Her long silver hair was burned. Her armor was broken, but her eyes still glowed bright and full of fire. Jack aimed his rifle. She looked up at him, ready to die, but he didn't shoot. For a long moment, they just stared at each other. Two enemies, two survivors. No words. Just silence. Then Jack lowered his weapon. He took out his med pack and walked toward her. Mayra narrowed her eyes. "What are you doing?" she asked in a deep, weak voice. Jack knelt beside her. "I'm not leaving you here." She blinked. "Why?" he shrugged. "Because no one else should die alone." Jack used a thermal cutter to stop her bleeding. The heat made her muscles tense, but she didn't cry out. He wrapped her wounds with nanofiber gauze. She watched him in silence. "No evac?" she asked. He shook his head. "They left me too." Mayra gave a small, bitter laugh. "Then we are both useless now." "Maybe," Jack said, checking his scanner, "but not dead yet." Suddenly his helmet beeped. Motion detected. He looked up. On his visor, a small red dot moved through the smoke. Enemy drone. He grabbed his rifle and stood quickly. "We've got company." Myra tried to lift her blade but couldn't move her arms anymore. Jack aimed and fired once sharp and clean. The drone exploded mid-air. "Nice shot," she whispered. He helped her sit upright against the wall. "We have to find shelter. More drones will come." "There is an old hangar east," she said. "Half buried. Can you walk?" She looked down again. "No." Jack took a deep breath. He pulled off 2 steel rods from broken support beams and tied them with his belt. "I'll carry you. But we'll need to move fast." She looked at him again. "You're risking your life for me." He smiled. "Welcome to humanity." Cliffhanger. As Jack lifts Myra on his back, a shadow moves in the sky above a full scout patrol of enemy. Machines begin scanning the battlefield. The hunt has already begun. The old hangar was almost invisible under layers of dust and twisted metal. Its roof was half collapsed, and smoke drifted from a crack in the wall. No lights, no sound. It looked abandoned. But it was their only chance. Sergeant Jack Harlow pushed through the wreckage, carrying Captain Myra on his back. Every step hurt. His ribs were bruised, his oxygen low. But he kept going. Myra stayed quiet. Her arms were around his neck, her voice soft. "You should have left me." Jack didn't answer. Inside the hangar, the air was thick with the smell of burning circuits and fuel. A broken Ilari transport lay in the corner. Sparks shot from its engine. The place had been hit hard during the battle. Jack lowered Myra gently behind a stack of crates. He collapsed beside her, gasping. Welcome to our new home. She looked around. This is death. Jack pulled out a cracked communicator. Not yet. He activated his emergency beacon, setting it to broadcast. Once every hour. A soft red light blinked, searching for any friendly ship. Your people won't come, Myra said. They already left me. Jack stared at the light. Maybe mine will. But they both knew the truth. No one was coming. Time passed. Jack used scrap metal and wires to build something strange, makeshift crutches. He worked in silence while Myra watched, confused. Finally, he walked over and placed the rods beside her. She raised an eyebrow. What is this? Legs, he said. For now. Her pride stopped her. I won't beg to stand. It's not about pride, Jack said. It's about survival. She said nothing, but reached for the rods. With Jack's help, she stood barely. Her face twisted in pain, but she didn't fall. He smiled. Still a warrior. She grunted. Still human. Outside, a drone passed overhead. Inside the hangar, Jack powered down all equipment. Silence again. Both of them waited in the dark, hearts beating slow and heavy. Then Myra spoke softly, her voice almost human. Why did you stay for me? Jack thought for a second. I don't leave people behind, not even aliens. You don't even know me, she said. Doesn't matter. Myra looked at him carefully. Your kind is strange, Jack chuckled. You don't know the half of it. Suddenly, a crackling noise came from Myra's arm. Her long-range communicator had picked up a signal, but it wasn't a rescue. It was a message from her command. She listened. Her expression changed. What is it? Jack asked. They said my location is too dangerous, she replied. They have marked me as lost in combat. Jack clenched his jaw. So they're not coming. Myra looked away. They abandoned me. Again. Jack sat beside her. Then we make our own way out. She turned toward him. We are both crippled. One of us can't even walk. Then we crawl, Jack said, together. Later that night, Jack opened his suit's secret pouch. Inside, a tiny photo of a little girl, his daughter. Myra noticed. Who is she? Jack smiled. My daughter. She thinks I'm still on Earth. Myra was quiet. You want to go back for her? Yes. That's why I'm still alive. She looked down at her broken body. I have nothing left to return to. Then maybe. You build something new, Jack said. We both do. Cliffhanger. Ending. Suddenly, the walls shook. A scanner alarm blinked red on Jack's wrist. Dozens of red dots appeared on the map. Enemy search patrols coming fast. Jack looked at Myra. No more hiding. We fight or we run. Myra gripped her makeshift crutches tightly. Then let's give them a reason to remember us. The floor of the broken hangar was covered in tangled wires and glowing coils. Electricity jumped across the metal like snakes of light. Sparks danced across the ground, hot, wild, and deadly. Captain Myra stood at the edge, leaning on the makeshift crutches Jack had built. Her breathing was shallow. Her legs were gone, and her body still trembled from pain, but her eyes stayed strong. This is madness, she said. One wrong step and I burn. Jack Harlow adjusted his grip on the plasma rifle. Then don't step wrong. He smiled, but he wasn't joking. Behind them, red lights moved in the mist. Enemy drones were scanning the area. One sound, one movement, and they would be surrounded. In front of them, the only way out was across the sparking mess of electric cables, an old maintenance tunnel that led out of the hangar ruins. It was either cross it or die here. Jack tied rubber mats to Myra's metal rods. This will help insulate. Not perfect, but better than nothing. Myra looked at him. Why do you keep fixing me? Jack shrugged. Maybe I see someone worth fixing. She stared at him for a second. Then, slowly, she stepped forward. Her first crutch hit the cable. A spark exploded beneath it. She didn't stop. Step by step, She moved across the burning ground. Sparks burst under her with each touch. Her muscles screamed. Her balance wavered, but she kept going. Jack followed close, behind, ready to catch her if she fell. Halfway across, a loud crack sounded. One of the crutches snapped under the heat. Myra screamed and dropped to one knee. Jack rushed forward and grabbed her arm. "Don't quit. I'm not." She gasped. "A quitter." He pulled her up with both arms, ignoring the pain in his side. Together, they stumbled to the other side of the room. They made it barely inside the old tunnel. It was dark and narrow. Broken lights flickered overhead. The air smelled like old fire and acid. Jack switched on a dim flashlight. Myra leaned against the wall, breathing hard. Then her hand brushed something, a glowing panel with strange Ilari markings. Jack turned. "What is it?" She looked confused. "This is a DNA lock. Military grade." He stepped closer. "What does it do?" "It protects high-value supply crates. Only someone with royal blood can open it." Jack raised an eyebrow. "Royal?" Myra was silent. He looked at her. "You didn't tell me you're—" "I didn't want to," she whispered. "Why?" "Because I am a disgrace to my house. A warrior who lost her legs. A soldier left behind. No one honors broken royalty." Jack stepped forward and placed her hand on the scanner. It scanned her blood through the wounds on her fingers. The panel turned green. Click. The wall opened. Inside were food packets, medicine, nano repair kits, and even power cells. Everything they needed to survive. Jack laughed. "Looks like your bloodline just saved us." Myra stared at her hand. "It should not have worked. My mother was never confirmed as royal." "Well," Jack said, handing her a protein bar, "guess it runs in the family." Hours later, Jack connected a solar power cell to his broken comms unit. He sat in silence, staring at the tiny screen, waiting for a ping. Myra was on the floor beside him, wrapping her wounds with the nano gel. She winced with every touch but didn't cry. Then softly she said, "My father was not a kind ruler. He believed in strength only. I tried to prove myself in battle. That's why I never told anyone who I really was." Jack didn't look. "UP. Well, I think you proved it anyway." Myra looked away. "Even without legs," he added, "you walk farther than most." Cliffhanger ending. Suddenly, Jack's comms unit buzzed. Ping. One signal faint, moving fast in orbit. "Someone's up there," he said. "A ship." Myra stood slowly. "Ilari?" Jack shook his head. "No, human." She stared at him. "You think they'll rescue us?" she asked. Jack stared into the darkness. "Only if we can reach the surface," he said. "And we've got 10 hours before it's gone." The valley ahead was covered in thick white fog. It wasn't natural fog. It moved like a living thing, slow, cold, silent. The air tasted sharp, like metal and fire. Jack Harlow adjusted his helmet filter. "Toxic," he said. "No breathing this stuff in." Captain Myra nodded. Her skin sensors were already warning her nerve gas, memory clouders, and hallucinogens. This valley wasn't just dangerous. It played with the mind. They had to cross it. The ship Jack had detected in orbit would pass in less than 9 hours. The pickup site was on the other side of this dead zone. Myra struggled to stay upright on her metal crutches. The terrain was rough, broken rocks, shattered bones, burnt-out vehicles half buried in ash. Every few steps, sparks jumped from her rods onto wet metal, but she kept moving. The fog closed in around them. Visibility dropped to just a few feet. The world became shadows and whispers. Then the voices started. "Jack!" A soft voice called. He froze. It sounded like his daughter. "Jack, come home." He turned sharply, but saw nothing. "Just fog." Myra noticed his face. "Ignore it. It's not real." Jack shook his head. "It sounded like it's the gas. It shows you what you miss, what you fear." Then she heard it. "Myra, A deep voice said, "Familiar, cold." Her father. "You failed your bloodline. You crawl with humans." She stopped, trembling. "Myra," Jack said quickly. "Stay focused." But the fog was thick inside her mind now. She saw her father standing on the hill, proud and tall, armor shining. "You are not worthy," the voice said. "You are broken." She raised her plasma blade. "Myra, stop." Jack shouted. She was swinging at shadows, almost hitting him. He grabbed her arms and held her tightly. "It's not him, he's not here." Her breathing was hard. Her eyes wild. And then she stopped. Tears ran silently down her alien face. "Let's keep walking," she said finally, "before I forget who I am." Hours passed. The fog began to fade, but something was still wrong. Jack checked his scanner. 2 red dots. Behind them. "Are we being followed?" he whispered. Myra looked back. "No patrols showed up on my sensor, yet." Suddenly, a beam of energy shot past Jack's head, just inches away. He grabbed Myra and rolled behind a rusted transport tank. Another beam struck the ground where they'd just stood. Enemies, but not human. Not machines. Ilari scouts her own people. "They're mine," she said in disbelief. "But why are they shooting?" Jack peeked from cover. "Looks like they don't want you going back." Myra's communicator buzzed. A private message came through. It was her general. Her father's old friend. His voice was sharp. "Captain Myra, you are not to return. The council has declared you dead. If you're alive, that truth dies here." Her hands shook. "They're covering up the retreat," Jack said. "They left you. And now they want to erase you." Myra's anger flared. "They fear the truth." Jack loaded his last energy cell into his rifle. "Then let's make sure they can't silence it." A short but brutal fight followed. Jack moved fast, firing from shadow to shadow. Myra used her crutches like weapons, blocking strikes, slamming metal into faces. When it was over, the scouts were down, one still breathed. Myra stood over him. "Why?" she demanded. The Ilari soldier coughed blood. "Because your survival means their shame." She said nothing more. Jack helped her walk again. The fog cleared behind them, but they both knew the real danger was ahead. Cliffhanger. Ending. As they reached the edge of the valley, Jack's scanner pinged again. This time, a full Ilari assault ship appeared on radar, and it wasn't there to rescue them. It was hunting them. Ra looked toward the pickup zone. "They'll destroy the human ship if we don't stop them." Jack tightened his grip on the rifle. "Then we stop them. No matter what it takes." The wind howled across the scorched wasteland. Ash swirled like ghosts. The ground trembled with the hum of engines far above. A Ilari assault cruiser now hovered in orbit, scanning for signs of life. Captain Myra stared at the sky. "They've sent a kill team." Jack Harlow adjusted his rifle and checked his cracked wrist scanner. "Human ship still coming. 7 hours. We just need to make it to the ridge." But the ridge was 20 kilometers away. On foot, it was suicide. Then they saw it, half buried in the sand, a military recon bike, still mostly intact. Its front panel was smashed, but its main engine was glowing faint green. Jack grinned. "You think it still works?" Myra tilted her head. "Only one way to know." 10 minutes later, Jack was ripping wires and rewiring circuits. His fingers moved fast, his face covered in sweat. Myra leaned on her crutches beside him. "If you die doing this, I'm dragging your body across the desert, just to yell at it." Jack chuckled. "Touching." "Really?" Suddenly, the engine roared too. Life. Dust blew in all directions. Myra looked shocked. It actually worked. Jack jumped onto the front seat and patted the rear cargo rack. "Climb on, Your Highness," she growled. "Call me that again, and I'll break your human spine," he smiled. "Good, you're back. The ride begins." Recon bike screamed across the glassed plain, moving like lightning. Explosions echoed in the distance as the Ilari cruiser launched drones. Myra held tight, her arms wrapped around Jack's chest. Her silver hair flew in the wind, her plasma blade was strapped to her back. The bike moved too fast. Engines overloading, Jack yelled. This thing wasn't built for two. Then we stay ahead of the fire, Myra shouted back. Suddenly, a drone dropped from the sky and began firing plasma bolts. Jack swerved left, barely avoiding death. Myra turned and threw a thermal grenade. Boom. The drone exploded mid-air, showering sparks around them. But now, more dots appeared on the radar. They're everywhere. Jack shouted, then we make this ride count. Chase across death. They rode through burned forests, crashed towers, and deep crevices. Jack avoided mines and falling debris. Myra used her crutches like weapons, blocking enemy fire, throwing them at drones. Every second, the engine grew hotter. The warning light flashed red. Jack checked the map. 2 kilometers left, but we won't make it unless… Myra cut him off. Give me the controls. What? You can't even walk. She pulled herself forward. I've piloted recon craft since I was 6, trust me. Jack hesitated, then slid back. Myra gripped the bars and hit the accelerator. The bike lifted slightly off the ground. Final sprint. Now flying just above the surface, the recon bike streaked like a comet across the last stretch of desert. The enemy cruiser above adjusted its guns. A targeting laser locked onto them. Myra gritted her teeth. Hold on. She slammed the emergency boost, overriding the engine. The bike screamed with power, then caught fire at the rear, but it soared forward like a missile. In the distance, the human ship entered the lower atmosphere. Jack activated his beacon and fired a flare into the sky. The human ship flashed lights in response. It had seen them. They had a chance. Cliffhanger ending. Suddenly, the recon bike exploded from the rear. Engine failure. Jack and Myra were thrown into the air, rolling hard across the rocky slope near the pickup zone. Jack's helmet cracked. Myra's metal rods snapped. They lay still. Then Myra opened her eyes. She dragged herself toward Jack. The human ship hovered above, dropping a rope lift, but on the hill behind them, an elite Ilari soldier, black armor, dual plasma swords, walked toward them. He wasn't there to arrest her. He was there to erase her. Myra picked up her broken blade with one hand. She looked at Jack, still unconscious, and then at the soldier. This ends now, she whispered. The sky above burned with light. Meteors fell like fire tears from a shattered moon. The battlefield glowed orange and red. The ridge they landed on was known in old war maps as the Hill of Broken Stars, a place where thousands once died. And now, maybe 2 more would join them. Myra coughed, dragging herself forward. Sparks flickered around her, and her crutches were broken. Her silver blood painted the rocks beneath her. Behind her, Jack Harlow lay still, his armor cracked. His helmet split open. In front of her, the black Ilari enforcer stepped down from the smoking hilltop. His armor was jet black, his eyes hidden behind a red visor. In his hands, twin plasma blades. I am here to end your shame, princess, the enforcer said coldly. Myra gritted her teeth. Then you better kneel first. Before royalty. She tried to stand, failed. She crawled toward Jack's motionless body. His pulse was weak but steady. She picked up his rifle. It was heavy in her hands, but she aimed it anyway. The enforcer moved like wind too fast. He dashed, kicked the rifle away, and slammed her back into the dirt. Her breath left her, but she didn't scream. She rolled over and swung her broken crutch like a club crack. It hit his leg. He stumbled for half a second. That was all she needed. She grabbed his own blade and ignited it. The plasma burst to life in her hands. The enforcer hissed, "You are unworthy." Myra stood not with legs but with fury. "I am Ilari. I am the daughter of fire. and I will not be erased. Meanwhile, Jack's eyes fluttered open. Smoke, blood, stars. His ears rang. His vision blurred. But then, her voice. He saw Myra fighting, barely standing, using one arm to hold the plasma blade, the other shaking from exhaustion. The enforcer moved fast, spinning, slashing. She blocked one, dodged the second. The third cut her arm. Jack reached for his side, his pistol still holstered. He aimed, but his hand shook. Then something hit the hill, a meteor chunk, exploding nearby. Rocks flew everywhere. Jack was thrown again. The final stand. Myra screamed and charged with all her strength. The enforcer met her in midair. Sparks flew as blade hit blade. Her body gave out, but her will did not. The enforcer grabbed her throat. Your death will make the council proud. Then a single plasma shot rang out. The enforcer's visor cracked. He turned. Stood, pistol smoking in his hand. Guess what? He said, coughing blood. She's not alone. Myriu twisted her body and drove the stolen plasma blade through the enforcer's chest. He dropped, hard, smoke rising from his armor. Silence. The hill shook. Again, more meteors falling. The air lit with the soft blue glow of a descending human rescue shuttle. It hovered just above, lowering a lift cable. Jack collapsed beside Myra. She looked at him. You always come back, he smiled. It's a habit now. Cliffhanger ending. As they are lifted into the ship, Myra's armor begins to beep. The nanotech patch on her spine flashes a color it never had before. Her nervous system is healing. She stares in shock. Jack sees the scan. You're regenerating. Myra's eyes go wide. If I live, everything changes. She whispers. The camera pans out. The sky is still burning. Ships are moving. And war isn't over yet. Not even close. The human ship soared through the stars, leaving the broken moon far behind. Inside the medbay, soft lights blinked. Machines hummed quietly. The war outside had gone silent for now. Captain Myra lay on the recovery table, her eyes closed, body still covered in scars. But something had changed. Her legs, gone just days ago, were slowly growing back. Jack Harlow sat beside her, holding a warm drink, helmet at his side. His ribs were wrapped, one arm in a sling. But he was alive. So was she. She's stable, the medic said. The nanotech we applied, it's working faster than expected. How fast? Jack asked. The medic hesitated. She walk in days. Jack looked at her with quiet wonder. She had survived. She had fought. And now she would walk again. Later. In a private room, Myra opened her eyes. Jack stood by the window, looking out into space. You stayed, she said softly. He turned. I promised, didn't I? She looked at her body. I thought I'd be remembered as a lost soldier, not a living one. Jack pulled up a chair. Your people need to hear your story, the truth. Myra nodded. And yours too. On the bridge, Jack handed the Ilari hololog to the captain. Inside it, proof of the betrayal. The general's voice ordering Myra to be left behind. Encrypted orders to erase her from history. This will cause war, the captain said. It may also stop one, Jack replied. Broadcast. 1 hour later. Across human and Ilari networks, a public message played. Myra stood tall on healing. Legs, armor repaired, her voice strong. I am Captain Myra of the House of Arden. I was abandoned by my own command. I was hunted by my own kind. But a human, my enemy, refused to leave me. She looked into the camera. The war tried to erase me, but truth survives. I survived. And now, I stand not for vengeance, but for justice. Jack stood behind her, silent but proud. The aftershock. The Ilari Council erupted. The general was arrested. Soldiers rebelled. New leaders spoke of peace, of alliance, of rebuilding what was broken. Myra's name, once forgotten, was now whispered across cities, planets, and fleets. Some called her traitor. Others called her savior, but no one called her forgotten. 1 month later, Mayra walked into the Earth Embassy on a new world. No crutches. No pain. Jack was already there, watching her from the gardens. "Look at you," he said. "Whole again." Mayra smiled. "I was never broken, only delayed." They sat under the twin suns. "Do you regret it?" she asked. "Saving." "Me?" Jack shook his head. "Not for a second. You lost your team, your ship, almost your life. I found something better." She raised a brow. "A war princess?" He laughed. "No, a friend who made me believe peace might be possible." Final scene, the promise kept. As the sun set, a young Ilari child walked past the window holding a toy figure half human. Half YLAR. The legend had already begun. 2 enemies. One promise. And a future neither side ever expected. Because when one human chose to stay, everything changed.